The Ultimate Fighting Championship, better known as the UFC, was founded back in November of 1993 with a simple, provocative mission to find out once and for all which martial art and fighting discipline was truly the most effective on the planet. Back then, it was a brutal single-elimination tournament with almost no rules, held in chain link cage in Denver, Colorado. And over the last 3 decades, it has evolved into a multi-billion-dollar global sports empire dominating combat sports with elite athletes, packed arenas, and massive pay-per-views. Today, I will be explaining how I want to make my own fighting league into Kaiju universe, the KUFC, and how you can join it. So let's get into it. KUFC is basically similar to the real-life UFC, however, it is just for Kaiju universe. Thus far, we've had a total of 12 KUFC events, with the 13th coming anytime soon now. In KUFC, KU players will get the opportunity to compete and fight one another, and basically the objective is to win as many fights as you can possibly win. And in the grand scheme of things, we will have an infinite amount of events with new and old opponents and fighters who will basically be building records from their fights, accumulating wins, losses, and draws, which said wins and losses will affect who you fight next. Now, there are in fact rules for KUFC, which I will keep brief and simple, similar to the rules themselves. The first rule is that in an actual fight, you are not allowed to change your Kaiju. The second rule is that you are not allowed to change your build. The third rule is that you cannot use any water. The fourth rule is that you are not allowed any help. The fifth rule is that you are not allowed to use any traits. And the sixth rule is that disconnecting or leaving during a match will result in disqualification, and the round will be auto-lost for you. How the actual fights will go is that in each fight there will be 5 rounds. Obviously, the one who wins the most rounds will, they'll win, but there are ways that the fights can go to a draw. Each round will have a 5-minute time limit for the opponent to kill each other, and if the fight does go to timer, the slower Kaiju will automatically win, unless the slower Kaiju is intentionally running and stalling, which in that case, the faster Kaiju will win. And there is a way to bypass the time limit by scrapping, like when the timer ends, as soon as the timer ends, you can face tank the opponent as a final attempt to finish the enemy, and that is how you can bypass the timer, basically. And there are multiple ways to get a draw. The first is that if it's a flyer fight, it will automatically go to a draw if it's a flyer versus flyer fight. And the next one is that if it's a very slow or a very fast Kaiju fighting each other, basically, like, an example would be like Glacie fighting a Glacie, or like a Sakura fighting Hest, just a fast Kaiju fighting another very fast Kaiju, or a slow Kaiju fighting another slow Kaiju, then it will end in a draw. And if a draw is made and the fight ends up being 2-2, that will be a draw, and yeah, you get the point. Everyone knows what a draw is. And so far, yeah, we've had multiple KFC events, and I plan to host multiple KFC events per week. But yeah, given how excruciating and time-consuming they are to edit, and the fact that I want to make other videos other than just KFC, I will only be uploading 1 KFC fight on the channel per week, maybe even more than a week, but either on Wednesdays or Fridays or even Mondays, really. And KFC 7 and 8, they're currently up on the channel right now, with 9 and 10 soon to be releasing this week. Now, if you want to join KUFC and compete there, you need to do the 3 following things. The first, you need a minimum of 300,000 G-cells and 1,000 kills. You need at least 1 max Kaiju, and you need to join my Discord server in the description. There is where we will host KUFC events, tournaments, and skill tests at your leisure. Plus, if you join in the server, you will get to see KUFC events and result weeks before they are shown here. This video isn't much. I just made it to inform people of the KU League I'm attempting to make, to see if any people would be more interested in, seeing or even competing in these. For now, I don't give out any Robux awards, but as the roster expands and we start to do rankings, I will give the champion Robux rewards each fight that they win. So yeah, I hope you now learn what KUFC is, and I'll leave the server link in the pinned comment for you to join, and see you in KUFC 9.